How you doing, YouTube family? Today is Thursday, October the 9th, 2025. It's your man, Big D, and I'm back with another one. Want to thank all you good folk out there in YouTube land for continuing to show support to my son and I. We greatly appreciate you. Thank you. Well, family, I'm back with another video. And in this video, I am going to be reacting to a video that the good brother Big Ward the Genius dropped on Wednesday, October the 8th, 2025. And this video was titled Three Eye Atlas. I thought it couldn't get worse, but it just did. And as always, Big Ward dropped a lot of jewels in this video. And as Big Ward has always been saying for a while now, and those of you that follow his channel, you know that he's been predicting this all along as far as how as the economy is crashed out. How you have our government so divisive, just fledgling alone. Every day the country is just teeter-tottering on the brink of chaos and mass destruction. And not just from because we got to look at it like this, family. We got to break it down how all of that affects the everyday average lay person. You see, when you have bullshit and chaos at the very, very high levels of government, it all trickles down and it affects the low man on the totem pole. You ever heard the old saying that the BS rolls downhill? Well, yeah, it does. Especially in this society. So now you have the everyday person dealing with how they gonna pay their bills. They barely have a job because the company that's employing them is barely able to keep the doors open. And you have a situation where, this company don't want to shut its doors completely because it knows that it has employees that is dependent upon their little paycheck to survive and care for their families. So we have a crisis in this country from a social economic standpoint. But now, not only do we have that, we have all types of chaos and craziness happening. And we have things going on that really and truly nobody can explain. Nobody can give a good explanation. And you know who's saying nothing about it? The government. They pretty much just downplaying it. Keep it moving along. Ain't nothing to see here. Moving along. Ain't nothing to see here. Your ass out there. Ain't nothing to see, I said. So we gonna go on ahead and let's run Big Wars video, and I will add my thoughts along the way.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Today is still Wednesday, October 8th, 2025. Back with another episode. Thank y'all for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Now, just when you think you can't get any worse, you've seen it all. So much, not just your normal stuff. We ain't talking about that. The everyday struggle, the bills and the economy and job losses, and we ain't talking about that. We see that all the time. But over the past at least 2 years, we've seen some strange and weird things happen. So much so to where we don't think about it no more. Because so much is happening so quickly, so often, that we don't have time to process what just happened before something else strange happens. Example. Just this time last year, the talk of the world was the orbs. Remember the orbs? The big balls of light? Like everywhere, people seeing them all over the place. Nobody knew what they was. Like, what the hell is that? Like fat ghost or something. Then the drones, all over the place. At least they thought they was drones. We don't know what the hell it was, because they ain't told us. As a matter of fact, it just went away. Nobody talks about it anymore. We ain't no more knowing what it was then as we are now. Or now as we was then, whatever. However the saying go. Orbs. Mentioned in the Bible. Orbs. O-R-B-S. In the Bible. We seen them float around here, and nobody thought it was no big deal. Look at that orb. Oh, damn, they go orb. Then you start hearing people say, yeah, man, I see them all the time. What? You see them all the time, and don't nobody, it ain't on the news? It's no big deal. Y'all remember that? Orbs, drones, UFOs, spirits, doors opening and closing. You name it. And you say, well, damn. We done seen it all. It can't get much stranger than this. Then it goes away. Or did it? Or did somebody just get their broom and sweep? Well, ladies and gentlemen, they might have tried to sweep it under the rug, but they're back. When you thought we were dealing with enough, here these son of bitches come. Now we got, looks like a comet, but it don't look like a normal comet. It's moving too goddamn fast, and the bitch can turn and go change direction. Comets don't do all that. It's called 3-eye Atlas. I'm about to show y'all all that. Then we got people on Capitol Hill testifying under oath. No, I'm gonna let y'all see for y'allself.
I now recognize Chief Wiggins for his opening statement. Please press your button. Thank you.
Good morning, Chairwoman Luna, Ranking Member Crockett, and members of the task force and the committee. Thank you for the opportunity to testify today. My name is Alexandro Wiggins. I'm an active duty U.S. Navy Operations Specialist Senior Chief Petty Officer, father of 3, and dedicated American testifying today in my personal capacity. The views I share are my own, and I do not represent the official positions of the Department of the Navy or any subordinate organization. On the evening of February 15th, 2023, at approximately 19:15 PST, in the Whiskey 291 warning area off the coast of Southern California, I was serving on board USS Jackson. During that period, I moved between the Interior Communications Center, ICC-1, and the bridge wing, correlating the sensor picture with visual observations, part of my routine responsibilities for surface and air picture management. What I observed and what our crew recorded was not consistent with conventional aircraft or drones as they appear on our system. A self-luminous, tic-tac shaped object emerged from the ocean before linking up with 3 other similar objects. The 4 then disappeared simultaneously with a high synchronized, near instantaneous acceleration. I observed no sonic boom and no conventional propulsion signatures, no exhaust plume No control surface articulation on the Sapphire image system. Shortly after the synchronized departure, radar tracks dropped. These observations were multi-sensor and recorded inside of ICC-1 with time location overlay visible in our source frames that have been made public by journalists. From my experience operating in this region over many years, and consistent with our public characterized encounters, unidentified objects reoccur in United States operation areas off Southern California. That fact alone does not tell us what they are, but it does argue the systematic stigma-free reporting and for the preservation of sensor data so analysts can evaluate safe and intelligence implications with rigor. I want to underscore 3 points for the task force and the committee. Aviation and maritime safety. When crews and watchstanders observe objects that maneuver or accelerate in ways that does not match known profiles and do so near our ships and aircraft, that is first and foremost a safety issue. Standardized checklists and training should ensure we capture the best possible sensor data in real time, including IR settings, slant range estimates, and bearing and range altitude snapshots, and immediate chain of custody for any recordings. Reporting without stigma, protection without retribution. Sailors need to know that reporting UAP encounters will not harm their careers. Congress can help by reinforcing witness protection and by directing the relevant office to maintain confidential, destigmatized channels for service members who step forward with data. Declassification and transparency where...
Now, that part he's saying now, they've been seeing stuff like this, but the soldiers or the military personnel are scared to report it because of retaliation. They ain't supposed to say nothing. So he asking for Congress protection for people that want to, like whistleblowers, that want to say, hey man, we just saw some shit come up out the ocean. It wasn't human. So this ain't nothing new. They've been seeing it. Now they got this guy. This is not a YouTube video right there. That's a real congressional hearing. Those are not YouTube content creators. That's a real military active member, service person, testifying what he saw.
Awesome. The task force declassification mission is directly relevant here, where operational security permits releasing metadata preserved sensor excerpts or at least technical summaries would improve public trust and accelerate outside scientific scrutiny. That includes, when feasible, the time geo-reference IR frames and radar parameters needed for independent analysis. To be clear, I am not here to make claims beyond my lane. I am here to provide a first-hand account of what I saw, what our systems recorded, and why it matters for safety, for intelligence, and public confidence. My request to you is practical. Help us capture, protect, fairly evaluate the evidence, and provide a safe pathway for those in uniform to report it. In closing, I want to thank the committee and the task force for holding this hearing and for placing this discussion in a forum where evidence can be examined carefully and openly. I appreciate your attention and stand ready to answer your questions. Thank you.
So let me get this straight. Here you are in the military, in the Navy. You and the fellas standing out on the deck. All of a sudden, you see some old Buck Rogers ass shit. Some old cylinder, semi-egg shape thing just come up out the ocean. Self-illuminated, meaning it's lit up on its own. There's no like lights and headlights. It's just glowing. And it joins 3 more of them. in unison, synchronized, and they just pew! Don't leave behind no smoke, no exhaust, no nothing, and immediately just go off radar. And the man, an expert in what he's saying, like, hey, we don't have nothing. Nobody on this planet have nothing that can fly like that. That can come out the ocean and then just pew! All in unison. No smoke, no engine exhaust, no trail, no nothing. Pew! And the government gonna say, there's nothing to see here. In other words, them people been seeing that type stuff. But they knew if they said something, they would get in trouble. So that's why he before Congress right there, testifying to what he saw, asking for the laws or whatever they got to be changed to where, hey man, I don't think it's safe for us to be out here on a ship and some shit that fly by the ocean and we don't know what the hell it is. Nobody knows what it is. Even if it's China or Russia, we need to know what the hell that is. They got that can do that. But it wasn't China, it wasn't Russia. They ain't from here. When you thought it couldn't get no stranger. Here come big war of that bullshit. But wait, there's more.
A close encounter on Capitol Hill with Representative Eric Burlison showing some whistleblower video during a hearing about UFOs. It seems to show a U.S. military drone shooting a missile at an unidentified object just off the coast of Yemen last year. But as CBS News senior national security correspondent Charlie D'Agata reports, the aerial mission did not go as planned.
The newly released video captured by a U.S. Reaper drone shows a glowing orb off the coast of Yemen. Suddenly, on the left side of your screen, you see a Hellfire missile zip in, strike that unidentified object, and bounce right off it. When we slow the video down, you see the Hellfire missile continue to travel on its path, that trajectory becoming clearer from this zoomed-out angle. Not shown is a second Reaper drone that launched the missile. Congressman Eric Burlison shared the video at a House Oversight Committee on what the military calls unidentified aerial phenomena, better known as UFOs.
That's a Hellfire missile smacking into that UFO and just bounced right off. And it kept going.
It kept going, and it looks like the debris was taken with it.
Yeah, what the hell is that?
We've never seen a Hellfire missile hit a target and bounce off.
Lou Elizondo is a former senior intelligence officer with the Pentagon.
When a Hellfire makes a hit, a kinetic strike on something solid, there's usually not much left of whatever it is it's hitting. It's very, very destructive. What seems to happen is that the missile is either redirected or in some case perhaps glances off the object and continues on its way.
A recent government report revealed the government received more than 750 new UAP sightings in the 2024 fiscal year, leaving lawmakers digging into the mystery and national security concerns posed by these objects.
Does this video scare you guys? Yes or no?
Yes.
Wiggins?
Yes. Yes.
Me too. There's a lot of information that's not in that video, like what mission they were on, and as they said, what are we even looking at here? We do know that the U.S. military was conducting airstrikes against Houthi targets at the time. Pentagon officials tell CBS News, no comment.
What the hell y'all mean? No comment. I got a comment. Help! How's that for a comment for your ass? No comment. A missile that will blow up a building. Bounce right off that son of a bitch. Help! But wait, there's more.
There's a mysterious interstellar object hurtling towards our solar system, exciting scientists across the globe. While many think it's just a comet, some theorizing a possible alien origin due to a few curious characteristics.
The peculiar thing about it is that it's moving along a trajectory that is very special.
Harvard physicist Avi Loeb has been tracking the object named 3I Atlas.
When it arrives closest to the sun, the Earth would be on the opposite side, and we won't be able to observe it. But that's exactly the time when it could do a maneuver to slow down and visit us. And one wonders whether this trajectory was designed by some extraterrestrial intelligence.
He's also interested in why the object doesn't show the usual signs of a comet, which normally have long, glowing dust trails behind them. But Loeb says Atlas appears to have a slight glow in front of it. So is it a piece of alien technology? Well, it's not exactly a close encounter of the third kind. The outer space anomaly is still drawing scientists into its orbit. NASA scientists first spotting 3I Atlas in July, just a tiny speck of light sailing through a sea of stars, a mind-bogglingly rare visitor from outside our solar system.
We're really excited about these objects. So far, we've discovered 3 interstellar objects, so it's a rare opportunity.
Days later, the European Southern Observatory took these high-definition shots, showing it traveling a whopping 130,000 miles per hour. It could be 3.5 miles wide, but luckily won't come close to Earth. And not everyone's on board with Loeb's theories. Oxford astronomer Chris Lintott telling Live Science in an email, any suggestion that it's artificial is nonsense on stilts and is an insult to the exciting work going on to understand this object. But Professor Loeb maintains he is keeping an open mind.
As a scientist, I'm guided by evidence, not by opinions of my colleagues, because our imagination is limited by our experience on Earth.
And when it comes to the vastness of space, there is plenty of room for big ideas. Scotty Schwartz, NBC News.
True that.
So you telling me we got to deal with a recession, horrible economy, out of work, can't afford the cost of living, struggling, don't know what you're going to do, how you're going to survive. We got to deal with all that and some goddamn aliens. And I ain't talking about Julio. Ain't that a bitch? Just when you thought it couldn't get no stranger, no weirder. Here come Big Ward with that bullshit. Get it, got it good. Bye.
Wow. Well, family, a lot to unpack, but I'm going to keep it short and brief. First things first, let's talk about this whole unidentified flying object thing. Used to be labeled UFO. Now, instead of being called a UFO and an unidentified flying object, it is now commonly referred to as a UAP or unidentified anomalous phenomena. So basically, they're saying that this terminology was adopted to foster more serious scientific study by removing a popular, often ridiculed association with extraterrestrial spacecraft that UFOs carry. So you have that going on. So now, with that being said, and it alludes to what Big Ward was getting at, our government been knowing about these visitors who they say we're visitors, but who's to say that they haven't already been here? Who's to say? Because it is known fact that there are we have oceans that are so deep that it is not possible to explore them. So scientists are saying that who knows what type of potential alien life is living at the bottom of the Earth's oceans. They always report that these anomalous objects, these anomalous phenomena, they always appear around bodies of water. So this is nothing new. But I think what the problem with it is now is that the government is taking note that more and more and more common folk, not people out there with thousands of miles at sea doing God knows whatever, because like the news reporter said, what was y'all out there doing anyway to be so far out there in the middle of nowhere? Doing what? Are y'all doing some type of maneuver? Some type of practical exercise? You don't know. So you have the cloak and dagger and the secrecy stuff going on. Now, people have always spoke about and contemplated about Area 51 and whatnot. And now we find that the everyday average folk are seeing things that they can't explain. So now you have these servicemen that have come forth because they don't think it's a good thing that the government just goes on with whatever it's doing and just pretend like, oh, these things don't exist, that we're not seeing these unknown anomalous phenomena, that we just, we just, there's nothing here to see. And that's the problem with our government. We always pretending and waiting to the very last minute. It reminds me of the military concept of hurry up and wait. But see, when you have that mindset, when you hurry up and wait, it's too late. Need to be addressing this now. We got a lot of irons in the fire, family. A lot of things need to be addressed quickly. So now you have, you have these servicemen, these Navy men are coming forth, and they don't feel good about being in the middle of nowhere at sea and seeing something coming out the water that they can't explain, something that is giving off light with nothing, with nothing to be known as a power source. How's it powered? Moving at astronomical speed. And um um like the good scientist slash doctor said, see, he goes by fight, not by opinions. Because see, the problem with opinions is this: opinions are like a-holes. Everybody got one, and more oftentimes they all stink. So your opinions don't mean nothing when it compares to fight. And one thing that he said that made a lot of sense to me, and I don't know if I'm going to remember it exactly the way that he said it, but to sum it up, he basically said that our perspective, our imagination is very small because we can't see anything beyond on this planet. We can't see up in outer space. We don't know what's going on out there, family. We live our little lives like little ants on a mound. Y'all know how it is, family. Y'all see ants in your backyard and how they scurry along and going about their life, and just like a little society, just like ants, not realizing that there is something greater out there. But we don't pay no attention to that. We so caught up on the other BS that keep us distracted. So now you have these servicemen that feel the need that they need protection. Because I can only imagine how much they were ridiculed when they would report these things. I'm pretty sure they got threatened. I know how the government get down. When you try to report and do the right thing in service of your country, you oftentimes have to go against the grain. And it is not right for the government to keep this type of thing from its citizens. It's not right. We already got to worry about the economy being ate the F up, screwed up. We already got to worry about that. Now we got to worry about people being homeless. People worrying about how they gonna keep their lights on, how they gonna keep their families fed. So people have a lot to contend with nowadays. So I think it's only fair. I get it. The government, like, we can't tell them because if we tell them, we gonna send our little planet into a mass chaos because the average person would not be able to handle the fact that yes, it's true. There is life outside of this planet, and it's fact that there was life on this planet by the time we got here. They've been living amongst us for the longest. But see, the problem is people gonna laugh and say, "Oh, that's crazy. Ain't no way. Impossible. You falling for the BS." Man, let me tell you something, family. If you really think that this little planet that's floating in space and space is vast, and you think that, oh, it's just us, man, you're delusional. So now you got these servicemen got to ask for help. They got to go, they got to come, they got to testify at a congressional hearing and ask for help for protection because it's so bad that we want to report this because we feel the American people need to know what's going on, what we're potentially faced with, and we're being threatened and ridiculed. So now you got to ask yourself, family, why is the government trying to suppress this information from its people? What aren't they telling us? Do they know something more? I would have to say maybe, perhaps. So now you got that to worry about. So now you look at not only you have mysterious, unidentified, anomalous phenomena rising out the water. Now you got to contend with things like what about the things that you know what I'm saying? If I seen something rise out the water, because let me tell you something, family, I done seen some strange ish in my travels in my day, but my mindset has always been open and like, hey, you know what? I know ain't nowhere in the world. It's just us on this planet spinning around and round and round so fast we don't even know it's happening in the middle of nowhere. All it takes is something big enough to plow into our planet or throw Earth off its trajectory, and we will be screwed. But I know people don't worry about that because they wake up and every day they go about their lives. But I got to worry about how am I gonna pay these bills? How am I gonna do this? How am I gonna feed my family? I get it. I get it. So now you got to worry about the things you can't wrap your head around. Like Big War said, doors opening. We seeing orbs. People are seeing people doing egregious things to other people, like they're possessed by something. And family, you have to understand that when you look at Ephesians 6:12, it says that for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of the world. And basically, that's saying that perhaps we are in a space and a place where the veils of the dimensions are ever so close, and that perhaps maybe entities or things are able to cross over into our space and plane. Perhaps. But if you grew up in the church like I did, and religion was shoved down your throat, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. But our mom believed in a Almighty and a Creator, and she believed when good things happen, when blessings happen, it was because the Creator blessed her and made it so. So I don't mean it in a disrespectful way, but I just grew up in a religious house, and we were taught to believe that if you believe in light, you must believe in darkness, and that's a fact. So whether you want to call them fallen angels, demons, uh, inner dimension, entities, whatever you want to call them, it's some strange BS going on, and I guarantee you the government know all into it. They know about it. Too many people reporting it. So we are seeing some strange things, family. Strange things, very strange things nowadays. Things that hard to explain. I hear people come on YouTube and try to explain away some of these phenomena. Like there was a one guy on YouTube tried to explain away that when the that Reaper missile had hit that object and it pretty much bounced off of. He tried to say it was a weather balloon, and the missile, the way that it's designed, that when it hits something solid and it the tip of it compresses, it automatically explodes and triggers. From the compression, the pressure of it striking something. So he's saying that basically, if it was a unquote hot air balloon or some type of balloon, well, naturally the missile go bound, go not gonna be, because the balloon, the material of it is soft. But my thing is that if a missile hit a hot air balloon, I would think that any balloon or any type of pliable material, I would think that that missile would rip right through it, but it looked like it bounced off of it. So I don't know. So you have people trying to explain this stuff away, but it just don't make no sense. And so now you have this new anomalous phenomenon, Three Eye Atlas. Looks to be maybe a comet, maybe, but it don't exhibit the characteristics of a comet. Where's the tail? In fact, it says that from the tip of it, it seems to be generating or exuding a blue light. Could be a power source. So there are many speculations about what's going on with this new thing, Three Eye Atlas. So, family, we got a lot of ish to contend with. We have a lot of things to contend with on top of a wavering, fledgling economy that's barely surviving. People are suffering. On top of that, got all these strange anomalies going on. So much so, got so bad, it's happening so much, occurring so often that servicemen, Navy men have to ask for congressional protection because they want to come forward and tell the truth. What aren't they telling us, family? What is the government hiding? We know historically speaking that sometimes they don't always tell us the truth. But something like this, man, don't you think we should be prepared for it? Better to deal with the fallout and wait till the last minute till it's too late. And perhaps we as human beings are faced with something from someplace else, not from this planet, not from this plane, not from this dimension. And their intelligence is far, far superior than ours. Our little Glocks, AR-15s, switches. Yeah, I mean, just just ain't gonna have no effect. Cap guns, essentially. I know, but nobody believes that. It's all BS. It's just us. You know, we just woke up one day and we was here on this planet. Homo sapiens sapiens was here. There's nothing else out there. It's just us. So that's what people want to ride with. But what y'all think, family? Y'all think Big Ward on to something? I think he is. Think he is. Enjoy the video, Big Ward. Great job as always. Well, family, always remember, be more tomorrow than you were yesterday. Peace.